Ms. Sudarshan. This is Dr. Alka, and I'm from Global Women Power. We have been interviewing women of eminence in our this uh, episode also and other earlier episodes. It's called as Meet Our Sheroes. And I have met many personalities whom, when we talked, we related to each other on various levels. And the way it works is that, we start from wherever you are in your journey. And when did you start? And where are you going? Mhm.
All right.
So it's over to you. We will just listen fresh from you and see how it develops.
Sure. Thank you so much, Dr. Alka and Ms. Nancy, for having me here. It's a pleasure, and I really hope my story resonates with those who are reading it, who are listening to it, and if it acts as a catalyst in some way, I couldn't be prouder. So thank you for having me here.
Very welcome.
In terms of where I am right now, I'm an entrepreneur and a new one at that. Our business is just about 13, 14 months old. And we actually launched an app for women called ZEN-it, um, where it's a mindful productivity app, and women can plan their day in a very easy manner. We don't claim to be the best app, we claim to be the easiest app, because we understand that the day-to-day competing responsibilities can be so overwhelming that we don't have the time to actually chart out things and spend hours on end looking at how our day is going to go. We need quick solutions to manage our time and to address self care. So that was the motivation behind creating ZEN-it. And we launched it only in India in June. And in October, we launched it worldwide. So we're very, very young, uh, learning the ropes as an entrepreneur. Prior to that, I was in the education space for about 11 years. And though my own education was in engineering, I switched tracks to education. I was having a tough time during just after my master's. Life happened. I got married, I had a child, and I made a very conscious decision to stay at home. And but that was not an easy one. And that for about 7 to 8 years, I was at home, and I was staying at home, not doing anything. And so it really troubled me a lot as to, what was I going to do next? And that phase was very unsettling for me. And that is when I said, okay, I needed to get back, to work. But even with a master's degree in engineering, I wasn't sure that I was ready for anything that would take away too much of my time. My daughter then was 2, my son was 6, maybe. So that's how I got into the education space. I convinced myself that this is where work-life balance happened, and it couldn't have been further from the truth. Um, so that's me in a nutshell. Uh,
And what are the future projections?
In terms of ZEN-it, so we're trying different things. First thing we tried was we did the traditional approach of, running ads, and we realized that we are not reaching our ideal customer. Our ideal customers are women who have too many things happening on a day-to-day basis. And in general, we found that women are nurturers, right? We tend to take on more and more responsibilities because we think that we are needed or we can make a difference in a positive way. So, but interestingly, we ran the ads for 3 months and we realized that we're not reaching women. The other challenge we are facing are that women are not early tech adopters from what we could see, right? We need to show that we are trustworthy, that, you know, uh, we mean what we say, we are authentic, and we truly want to solve a problem. So that has been a barricade for us because, we don't have big names associated with what we are doing. And so the trust building and also trying to make women try a new tech product, these two um, largely have been major challenges for us. So what we're doing now is pushing out a lot of high quality organic content just to show who we are, right? What do we mean when we say mindful productivity? And how can women actually benefit from it? And we've also added a whole lot of resources on our website, and we are saying just go and see if this is something that speaks to you, this is something, that you feel matches what you're looking for, then you can try our app. Otherwise, just use our free resources. And also get to know us better, right? Where are we coming from, and why are we saying that mindful productivity is the way to go for women? How did we arrive at this? So these are some of the questions that we are trying to answer in a very organic manner. So even though there is a saying, move fast and break things in the startup world, right now we are saying that we need to reach the right people. Otherwise, there is no point in moving fast. And you know so
Mm,
this is where we are. And in terms of numbers, we are around 20,000 downloads, and we have more than 1,000 daily active users
mm.
using our app. But we feel that we have a whole long way to go before we can speak about actual numbers. Yeah,
So, I told you that this is called Global Women Power because after coming to US, I met women from all different countries of the world, and everybody had kind of similar story. And what was common in the story is the emotional side of a woman, you know, because you're talking about mindfulness. And, in somewhere, we want to be a mother and nurture our baby, which is different from being a father. And somewhere we want to be a good wife, a good daughter. Those emotions, they come heavy on us. So share your, experience with your emotional side and the women you met along the journey.
sure. So I grew up in a middle class home, and my dad was the primary, breadwinner. And like you said, being good and doing good, even when no one is watching. And the good encompasses a whole lot of things, right? Good encompasses perfection, good encompasses being duty bound. So a whole lot of things. So this is what, I grew up on, and this was ingrained in us. And both positive and some things which compel us even today to put others before us. So when we talk about work life balance, right, the work probably is, the professional work that we do, so it's something for us. But when we think about the life aspect, ask any woman and she will tell you that the life is actually making the life simpler for everyone around her. It's not her own life. The balance is actually the life. Is my husband doing okay? If I leave today, for like a 4 hour meeting, what are my kids going to have? What is my husband going to do? It's constantly taking care of others. And this is something that I saw throughout in my life. And it has become the norm. So to get out of it and to think something just for ourselves seems very selfish. Um, so I've seen my grandma do it. I've seen my mom do it. And so I've worked for a organization that managed a chain of schools. And most of the women I've worked with, my colleagues, my subordinates, I've seen all of them speak about this. Um, that, what do I do? There is always this rushed, you're coming in running and you're taking care of work, but then during breaks, you're picking up your phone, you're calling someone else, you're addressing something for home, for others. So, um, this was a recurring theme in my life, so to say. And while I took care of my children and it was a conscious choice, it bothered me a lot that I was not out there pursuing my dreams and passions. And the people I would say were instrumental in making me, get back to the workforce or to push me. One is my inspiration. That's my grandma. She studied only till grade 5. And what she did was she got married early. And my grandpa was pursuing his B.Ed. And in those days, you had to give both English and Hindi exam. So being a South Indian, he really struggled with the Hindi. And my grandma learned Hindi first, and she taught him Hindi. So when I, you know, when there are hardly any resources and you just rely on yourself to push yourself forward, learn new things. And she also survived cancer twice. And she was the epitome of, I would say, dignity, elegance, lifelong learning, curiosity. And whenever I looked at her, I felt, when I grow old, I want to be like this. I want to, nurture that learner aspect in me too. I cannot just give up because I've not done something for a few years. And when I see people with no educational background who are, motivated to push themselves through in different ways, I have no reason to complain. So she was a huge inspiration in my life. Um, and the other thing, I think I myself was a bit ambitious. I wanted to go out, I wanted to pursue my dreams. So when I joined this organization, my leader was a visionary and she really supported me and helped me, try out different things. This is Dr. Trista Rammurthy. And so what I was able to do was I was able to not just be an educator, but quickly grow and learn different aspects. And I think for a large part, we operated like a startup. So there were different, sub teams there. There was operations, marketing, and whatnot. So I was able to try out new things over there and pick up some skills. So, and during this journey was when I met so many women, and all these women had almost the same story to tell. Like, I want to be able to do this or I want to be able to do that, but I cannot because I'm stuck in this rut or I have too many things happening in my life. Um, I actually had one of my team members cry and tell me that how do I manage these priority? Everything is a priority. What do I do? And that was also one turning point or something instrumental in building an app like ZEN-it. We actually have something called a priority wizard where women don't spend too much time actually prioritizing, should I do this or should I do that, should I do this or so there is an automatic priority checklist that appears as soon as you enter your task. So these were some of the things that motivated us. We constantly saw the pain points again and again, of time management, of self management, and I think that's been the large part of my journey.
So another question, you know, when was growing up, so I had um, mother homemaker, like might be yours, mother and grandmother too, right?
Yeah.
So whenever we come home, we will see a relaxed mom, you know, who is smiling, ready to listen to our stories and feed us. That is what, I couldn't give to my son, and I have seen so many mothers are unable to give to their children. Being ambitious, getting in men's world also was our desire, maybe because of suppression of years and years. So we wanted to be like, we are not less than you. And I want to ask from you, when is enough for a woman?
I think never. Uh, Never, I would say, in all aspects. So I'm not saying never for, pursuing our dreams. I'm not saying never for taking care of others. While it's easy to say, put yourself first at times and do this and that, when it is so deeply encoded, it's very difficult to shake things off. So this is also probably one of the core issues that we face. We want to be the perfect mom, right? We want to make sure that the child has everything that they dreamed of in terms of love, care, and maybe at times discipline, whatever it is. But we want to be there. And we want to be there as the most supportive wife, I would say. If not loving wife, at least supportive wife, where, because in India, it's more about transactional, did you do this today? Did you do that? After a few years of marriage, this is what it becomes, right? So I would say that wife wants to be the most supportive woman there or a family member there. And So to say never is, it's impossible to say this is where I stop. But what I've noticed is in older women, right, especially in these days, I do notice 70, 75 plus is when they say, okay, I can't take this anymore. I need to do something for myself. But then it
Mm,
becomes really late. You've missed the bus for most part. I won't say it's impossible, but the physical fitness or even the mental faculties, whatever it may be, by then it becomes late. And then there are a lot of regrets that I wish I had done this or I wish I had done that. So I would think that we should try all that we can now, even for ourselves, while it is very, very difficult to let go of certain habits, to let go of, say, being perfect in every aspect of our lives. We should also think about what do we want to be? What's the legacy we want to leave behind? Who do we want to be known as? These are questions I think we should ask ourselves. I mean, I asked myself at the age of 43. So by the time,
mm.
I was in my 11th year in that space, I was like, is this what I want to do in my life? Is this what, I mean, am I going to retire in the next 10 years doing the same things? So probably a midlife crisis. I don't know. But I desperately wanted answers to these questions. Um, and so I think women should and not push it until it's too late, until we are so drained of energy that then we wake up and say, okay, what is it that I want to do?
So one more
Wow.
question.
You look like you're 33 or 23. Go ahead, Alka.
I'm 45. So,
So, the core value of Global Women Power was, I started with financial independence because I thought, once you have money in your pocket, you think straight, you are at peace. That is one I want you to highlight. What financial independence mean to you? And then over a period of time, I added social independence too, because the idea of happily married, I'm successful mom. This is social, dependence. You want to show yourself the best. So I thought, yeah, should also be another check in the box, socially independent. So can you throw some light on these two aspects, like what it means to you or women you know?
sure. I think these are two excellent, excellent aspects that, women need to check. So like I said, when I said, okay, I wanted to be a mom and I had two kids, this was probably the toughest time in my life because I had seen a peak. So my master's was actually on artificial intelligence and power systems. So I had done something radically different. I was proud of what I had achieved there. And then I didn't do anything for 7 to 8 years. And I felt like my intelligence was rotting away. And I felt like I was not earning anything. I mean, it's not that I was not supported. I had everything going, but it wasn't my money. So I wasn't actually very comfortable even spending a lot of money. So financial independence was very, very important for me. And that was also one of the reasons I said, you know what? I need to get back to the workforce. I need to make my own money. And I need to make my own decisions when it comes to how I spend money. And for that, I need to earn. So I would think that women in general need to be financially independent, and they are in no way less than men in any aspect. And there are a lot more opportunities these days for women who have taken a sabbatical for whatever the reason, maybe motherhood or taking care of somebody elderly. It's a lot better now than it was before. Before, if you had even a 1 or a 2 year break, nobody was really going to give you the kind of jobs you were looking for or you felt you deserved. Now things are changing, and probably because of COVID too, things are changing for the better. But yes, financial independence is important, and I think all women should pursue it and should, even if there is a break in their career, I think they should go for it. Um, in terms of social independence, things are changing again in India too. I do see that happening. In fact, the younger generation these days tell us that this includes my kids too, that, I don't see the need to be married. Like, what have you achieved through marriage? So this is something that I hear a lot these days. While they may be young and, but that's the current generation. And I've seen this even as an educator where, they do ask us, marriage means a lot of give and take, and we are not sure we are ready for it. So that social independence, I would say, is picking up, not everywhere. Probably rural areas would still, expect this from women. But in urban cities, I would say things are better. And so the first 5 years in the education space, I was an educator. And during this time, I met a lot of women who chose this option because they had a degree, but they had no spouse who could support them, and they had to be financially independent. And there are some truly disturbing stories that, I've heard from my colleagues, but or I've witnessed even. But I would say that this is something every woman should aspire to. It gives us wings. It gives us, it opens possibilities for us. It gives us the confidence, I would say, to pursue bigger things in life. So,
Excellent. Nancy, you have any question?
Yeah, this is the first time I've heard the phrase socially independent. I don't even know what it means.
The pressure of
so
society, you have, and then you act as to be accepted by society. You act in a particular way, which society will say, "Oh, good, you're doing good."
Okay.
So that's what I mean by social independence. Accept
Hmm.
me the way I am, I don't have to comply to every norms set up by the society and then act according to that.
I think everyone has a certain limit to when they have to be socially dependent and when not to be. If it's a religious group or a cultural group, whatever. So, or a
Right.
group of common interests.
I would also think that it's very society specific, right? What is the norm somewhere may not be accepted somewhere else. So, for a person who's in a specific place all the time, I think they would develop the right social
Hmm.
acceptance skills. But if they are moving around, then I would say the challenge is more to be socially accepted at all times. So,
I've been around, this is not profiling, this is just my own experience. I have been to India 4 or 5 times. I've been around Indian communities. I notice in a mixed crowd, the women are expected to be silent and quiet and not argue with the men and let the men do what they want. And if they're discriminated, oh, Shanti, keep the peace.
oh, keep the
That
peace.
bugs
I
the
mean,
heck out of me. That bugs the heck out of me.
keep the peace is something that I tell myself, keep the
I'm
peace.
not talking about a
Ahlada, keep
husband
the
and wife, but
peace.
just in society. Just in
Um,
society, is in a group.
I would think the keep the peace is what drives most women to just, pick and choose battles. And this
Mm,
happens every day, everywhere. And, you know, you don't want to be too involved because you're also worried about where you're headed because of that. Let's say in a crowd, I decide that somebody is misbehaving and I start saying, don't do this, don't do that. My worry is this person going to come after me? Is this person going to come after my family?
Mhm.
And, I have a daughter at home. So let me not make any noise. Let me stay away
mm,
from this. And this is what shapes the society also. And this is how we have become whom we have become. So most of our reactions or actions stem from protecting, what's important to us, I feel.
mhm,
Gotcha. In religious circles, I am not going to say any particular religion amongst Indian people. When men and women are both welcome to lead a ceremony or whatever it might be, the men take over, and the women. It's our fault. We don't speak our voice. So that's how I
And
feel.
what happens is over many, many years, this becomes a norm and it becomes a ritual and it becomes a tradition. Once it is a tradition, oh, it's the men who need to do this. But we do, interestingly, have traditions where women lead and women do things too. Um,
Yeah.
but yes, demarcated spaces do exist, I would say.
Mm.
I cannot generalize so much because I'm not sure about
Mm.
the practices in other religion. But when it comes to Hindus, we do have certain things that women take over, and we do have certain functions where women lead and where men lead. But like you said, over hundreds of years, when it becomes the norm, we take a step back at times and say, okay,
Yeah.
you go ahead and you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I was talking about where both have equal accessibility to lead something,
But they don't do it.
but they let the men take it over. I don't care if a man or woman leads something, but to be a monopoly where a woman shouldn't do it,
Shouldn't
then
do it. Right,
blind
right.
faith people just don't think for themselves.
Um, I don't know. It could be a mixed bag here, but maybe they're
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
for themselves and saying that,
Yeah.
I don't want to be in this position. I don't want to be picked out as somebody different. So
Well,
I
that's a
would,
different. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Very good.
So,
So, Miss Sudarshan, what do you do in your me time and how often you get it?
so the one thing that I told myself was I'm going to get more me time when I became an entrepreneur. I know it sounds a bit contradictory. I mean, most people say that this is life in hell or something, but no. What I did was I time blocked my day. So I look at work life harmony more than work life balance. So I don't work for 8 hours a day. I start the day with meal prep and setting my daughter off to school. And then I work. There is a time block of work. Then there is a time block of me time. Then again work. Then again me time. So my me time normally consists of reading a book, listening to music, watching TV. I actually relax.
Mm.
Of course, there are some, home commitments too. Not that I, don't do anything of that sort. I do the lunch bit and stuff like that. But I work entirely out of home, and this is how I've planned my day. And I also wanted to become more mindful in life in general, right? Because the higher up we go in any position, we tend to become, I think,
Mm.
poor listeners. We tend to become better problem solvers, but poor listeners. And I felt
Mm.
somewhere this happened to me too, right? I mean, always in a rush to solve things. Okay, what is it that you're looking for? This is what you're looking for. Let me give it to you. Wait, wait, wait. I understand what you're saying. Let me do this for you. So this is something that I saw in myself. And when I was leading teams, and I felt that this is not who I was. I was actually a very introverted, quiet person, and suddenly I wanted to solve, world's problems all at the same time. So I've learned to become better at listening, and one of the things that I do is I try these guided mindfulness practices. And now we have a whole lot up on ZEN-it app as well as on our website. And these are short and these are for beginners. So I'm only a beginner at this point. I have tried my hand at meditation a couple of times in college and things like that. But I cannot claim that I'm an expert or, that I've developed the right skills. So I try very short ones. So every day, that's something that I try. It's not always successful. It's not that I always feel, you know, completely better or more mindful or more calm, but it's something that I persist.
Good. And how about, behind every successful man, there is a woman, and how about vice versa?
Oh, definitely. I think my family has been extremely supportive. Kids in their own way, my husband in his own way. But uh, one thing that my husband does tell me is, and he's been telling this for a long time, he never wants anyone to pursue something because of the money they can make. So he would say, money comes next. Why are you doing this? What's the purpose that's driving you? And what is it that you want to leave behind? So whenever I think about, the money aspect, we are a bootstrapped company, and, we really think hard about where we are going to funnel the money, which facet. So he would say, think carefully. What is it that you want to build? Money comes later. And I think that grounds me a lot. So again, growing up in middle class means that, some things were drilled down into us, like need versus want. This was a distinction we had to make very clear very early on. Is this something you need, or if it's just for a time pass thing, I'm not getting it for you. And is this something we can do at home? You do it at home and you take it. You're not going to spend money on it. um, my mom's side especially was the very money practical side. My dad's side were the learners and the dreamers. So I had a bit of both. And I think that's something I tell myself at times, like, you know, that's also one aspect to think about. So
And tell us more about your app for our audience. What does it
sure.
do? Little more details.
Um, so it's called ZEN-it. ZEN-it, to win your life, win everything that you want. And the primary goal is to help our users become productive, smart productive, without the added burnout, right? And the idea is there are a lot of productive tools, but what we've done is we've encompassed self care and smart productivity together. And we've tried to make it as simple and easy as possible, because we don't want our users, primarily women, to be spending time figuring things out, because there are already a lot of tools some of them might be using in workplace, right? So this is mainly for self, for each individual. We've not built it out to have an entire team up there, trying to track tasks or anything like that. So the productivity suite actually has a task management bit. So you add your task, and this is very easy to add, and you just time block it. And only two time blocks we've given. We don't want to complicate things at all. Either you finish your task by 2, or you finish your task after 2, post 2. And what you do is, once you do that, you can go to the priority wizard and you can see how your tasks are aligned for the day, and what are the things that you need to do now, what are the things you need to do today, and what are the things you need to do later. So basically, we are doing chunking of tasks to now, today, and later. And they can just check it off. And they can check off tasks based on categories. Is it for yourself you're doing this? Is this for work? Is this for home? So you can also start tracking tasks in that manner. And you can pull out external calendars and integrate them into ZEN-it. So you have like a single view of everything that's going on in your life. And you can start and stop focus time drives. So, if, because in this day and time, distractions are aplenty, and it's really difficult even for us to not look at the phone or to not read a email that's coming in. So how can you channel and work on something, fully give your focus, so you can track the number of focus cycles that you've done? So these are some of the tools that we have in the productivity suite. In the self-care suite, we have uplifting guided practices. So you want to start the morning with a quick 2-minute inspirational message, something to positive affirmations, right? And we have something in the middle of the day to ground you, right? Let's say you're losing track. How how can you quickly get back to the present? So that's what we call the centering part. And towards the end of the day, we have yoga nidra. We have, relaxation techniques and really calming mindful techniques. And we are also going to introduce sleep stories, because that's one aspect that came back to us, saying that, sleep is a problem for me. I'm always on, so
Hmm. So does it have some women angle to it? Like, you said it's only for women?
we want this mainly for women, mainly for those who are caregivers and who women tend to be multitaskers more. Not
Mm,
because we want to be, there's a whole lot of literature now saying multitasking is bad, this and that. But how many of us actually have the choice to not be a multitasker? I mean, give me the option. I would love to just focus on one thing and, do it well and not worry about anything. But I'm constantly having so many things to worry about. Um, The first set of people that we spoke to were women. And there was one person after the beta testing who came back and told us that she's not been as productive as how she was using ZEN-it in the last so many years. And that really made us, sit up and say, we are making a difference. We are making a difference in the lives of women. And the reason why we are saying that this is for women is mainly because of this, because women tend to actually compartmentalize home tasks, work tasks, this task. And the thing is, the way they compartmentalize it is not in one space, but they have different lists going on in their head. And at some time, all these lists kind of, clash down. So that is why we said this is for women. It's not that we are against men trying out, but it's been difficult to actually mm, reach the women with our app, mainly because women are new tech shy, is what we feel like. This is something new, and I already have, some tech that I'm using, or maybe not for this purpose, but in general, I use tech, so I don't want something new. This has been our actually challenge, and we feel that it's women who are going to benefit from this the most. Uh,
Mm.
so
So it's available in App Store and Google Play, the
yes,
both.
yes,
Mm.
yes.
You also
We
have
are
a website?
available in about 16 countries, not
Mm.
all over, but yes, US, UK, India, UAE,
Mm.
Australia. These are some of the countries that we offer
You
our
should
app.
make
And
one
the
for college students.
So, yes, our crowd right now coming in is college
mm,
students, and it's
Oh,
a freemium app. So some of them have written back to us saying, so the thing with college students is they're not so keen on mindfulness at this point. They love the
yeah.
productivity features, but we
mm,
feel that this is a holistic tool that would help women who want to pursue their dreams and who want to make time for themselves, and that's what we want to do. So
and do you also have a website?
yes, we do. It's
Mm.
zenitapp.in, and we have, like I said, many resources, and we've talked about the features of ZEN-it and why we're doing all these things. So
Are you offering this to overseas as well, or is it only in India?
yes, no.
No.
This is available overseas, but we've not really marketed it in a very big way, because we also want to try and understand, are we giving the right set of tools, right?
Hmm.
So our vision still remains the same. We want to help our users become mindfully productive and make better use of their time, pursue their
Mm.
goals, not have burnout. But is this the set of tools, or can we do something better? Can we, evolve this product to something that would suit our users' needs? So we are still very early stage, and all kinds of feedback would be really welcome. And that is why being in this you know episode today,
Mm.
talking about it is really a great thing for ZEN-it, and because we
Mm.
hope to reach women, and even inputs as to what they're looking for, what their pain points are, would be truly helpful uh, for us.
Very nice. So
Wonderful.
yeah, yeah. So what I understood, to comprehend, um, is that multitasking and productivity should go hand in hand. It should not burn us out. Maybe this app will help a lot, you know.
Yes,
So keeping a track of like how much have you done by now, and how much you should take care of yourself, that is being the
exactly.
Zen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And just to look
as
back and say, there are times when we feel, oh my God, the day is gone. What did I even do? But you can look back and say, I've been able to achieve so many things.
Mm,
Um, so
very important. So it's more like your buddy, this app
correct.
is more
Actually,
like your buddy.
this is one of the words used by some of the beta testers.
Mm,
They said a friend, an all-in-one personal, assistant,
mm.
who reminds me to do things for myself, but you know, who's also there making sure that my tasks get done. So
Yeah, because I have assistants at home, and sometimes I tell them, please remind me when to drink water, because I forget about it.
Right.
So the name Zen is Zen from like Zen Buddhism, or is Zen like
Yes.
woman
Zen
in
from
Farsi?
Buddhism,
Zen
as
means
in
woman.
Oh.
Zen-it. So whatever your it is. So be
Gotcha.
Mm.
calm, carry on, do what you
Good
got to
name.
do, but take care of yourself.
Very
Zen
good
means
name.
woman in Farsi. I was wondering.
Oh, okay. So that's great.
Zan, not Zen, Zan.
Zan.
Z-A.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Miss Sudarshan. I tried my best to call you, but I will try one last time. Ahlad.
Ahlada. It's okay.
Ahlada.
I mean,
Ahlada.
I've heard like one of the most popular variations is Alada. So I've heard all variations and
I've heard it pronounced Ehlad. It's a
oh,
Gurmukhi word.
okay.
Maybe a
I
different
know.
meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I wish you all the best for your app, and I want more and more women to use it and, increase their peace of mind. That is the whole idea. So because women at peace means the whole house is at peace and the world is at peace.
agreed so much. Thank you so much
You're very
for giving
welcome.
me this platform to talk about ZEN-it, to talk about myself, and I wish you both continued success for Global Women Power, and
Thank
hope
you.
to read more stories about more Sheroes. So
Sure.
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
And
you.
then my staff will get back to you with some edited version of this, and then you
Sure,
can use it for your promotion also.
sure,
The
sure,
parts which are good for your app and parts which are good for you. So that
sure.
is also our gift to you.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Okay, see you again
Thank you.
sometimes.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.